All right, Regina Girton, Executive Director of the Volunteer Network TN, here with Justin Beasley, the City of Mount Juliet Public Information Officer. Want to take a moment really to brag on Regina and her team. They have done so much in the last month. I think I said it on a Zoom call we had a little bit earlier. Our public works teams certainly out in full force helping with the storm debris and pickup, but to actually cut the trees down and get it to a certain spot, there's hands that needed to be had in the City of Mount Juliet to do that, and that's where Regina's expertise comes in hand. So Regina, with the Volunteer Network TN, just tell us how the genesis of this started and really your heart for wanting to help serve a community that is in need in the last month, but hopefully, 20s and need all those hands like we have had in the past.
Yeah. So we got our start, honestly, in that tornado of 2020, March 3rd. I was a local outreach pastor. My associate director, Jamie Tyner, was also a local outreach director here in the community, and we helped to engage through the City of Mount Juliet initially with efforts, and then from there facilitated helping to create a long-term recovery group, which is a mobilization effort of community leaders wanting to serve community members who've been impacted equally and equitably. And so from that, we also then ended up doing efforts in the flood of 2021 and then the tornado in December of 2021.
You've been busy.
Yeah, a little. What that did was allowed us to see the gap that our community had in terms of volunteer management. And so that's where we created Volunteer Network. Right.
Well, we're the volunteer state here in Tennessee, specifically in Wilson County. I guess you can be honest, what are those numbers like? And a point of this video, you can never have enough hands. So if you want to help, I know we've had some people at City Hall say, hey, there's debris in my backyard that I need help for. And they knew Volunteer Network TN, I guess, through our channels, Captain Chandler, local media as well. But you're looking for help. And if we're the volunteer state and we have a Saturday to give, you've got work for them, correct?
Absolutely, yes. So we launched our platform, volunteernetworktn.org, for people to be able to go on, create a free profile, and be able to sign up for ongoing needs within the community for nonprofits or for in times of disaster or needs of unexpected incidences like this. In those moments, we typically assess with WEMA if that incident is large enough that we might need to engage. We're still a young organization ourselves, getting our wheelhouse working, and so we obviously have a capacity. But
and you take direction from WEMA too, correct?
Correct.
That's important.
It is very important. Yes, we work with them. We're not just going out there with our chainsaws. So we do believe in being neighbors, helping neighbors, though. But we want to be able to do that moving forward in a way where we're trained. So right now in our database, we've got about 200 residents who've created their profiles for free. About 170 of those have said, yes, in a time of disaster, I would like to be a volunteer. And our hope now moving forward is that we would begin to create trainings for those disaster volunteers and have some disaster team leads so that moving forward, if we were to have a bigger event like your March 2020, we would be equipped to send people out to oversee those volunteer groups.
Which on the Zoom call this morning where you had, I guess, a micro and a macro type meeting where you're really wanting to know what your identity is moving forward, I don't need to meet Regina Girton on the next time we have a disaster. We need to already have a relationship and really amongst your team to figure out where somebody's going to be best placed. So when an incident occurs, you're a little bit more strengthened to be able to I guess, help those in need a lot sooner than later, correct?
Correct. So we have begun the beginning stages of propping up a Wilson County VOAD, which stay with me now, listeners, because
I'm learning too, I promise.
Disaster recovery sure loves a good acronym, but it is Volunteer Organizations Active in Disaster. And it is a proactive response to disaster recovery as opposed to a reactive. So our reactive response was that we created Recover Wilson, our long-term recovery group. Moving forward, this VOAD would be a collection and a collaborative group of community leaders and organizations who've said, in a time of disaster, we would like to meet potentially XYZ need. Doesn't grandfather clause you into it, but it allows us a pool of people to go ahead and pool together what might need to look like contextual to that event. So Volunteer Network would sit on that team, and we would be able to say, yes, we can provide volunteer management in XYZ fashion based on whatever incident has occurred.
Right.
And it's a great connecting point initially to the community to say, here's where we go to create profiles to sign up for those needs.
Right. And you were proactive in this last storm about a month ago. I know we had some last night, but as far as really debris pickup, about a month ago, and a lot of that work was done right here on the campus of Mount Juliet Middle School. You see the tree stump behind us. We're trying to be active and not in our office where, we have something where you can feel and touch it. Tell me, were you equipped for the storms a month ago? And if somebody is on the sideline looking to volunteer, looking to get in that database, you have some opportunities for them the next a couple of Saturdays in this month, correct?
Yes, we do. So we had about 35 residents who submitted varying needs. We had a great group from a church who went out to assess those needs for us and take pictures, help us to be able to gather together scope. We were able to determine what of those needs a volunteer actually could, what actually needed additional coming in. If we were in a time of a declared disaster, we would have access to disaster recovery agencies who would be able to come in that instance. We're able to help complete about 12 jobs so far, and we have a Saturday sign up 26th from 8 to 12. We've got 2 churches right now who've kind of said we're rallying around getting volunteers together for that day. But certainly we would love to see other community members sign up for those opportunities so that we can knock out these last 12 and get those folks back to where they need to be. If I were to criticize our work, which I have been as we go along.
I like the self-analysis.
Yeah, it's just that we do need to go ahead and identify some key disaster team leaders. And we ourselves will have capacity. This was a great opportunity, though, for us to be able to step into the baby waters, if you will, and not be thrown in the deep end in March of 2020. Another thing that I'll note on there that's really helpful is there's a skills assessment form on the platform once you create a profile that allows you to go ahead and identify if you are a chainsaw expert, or if you are an electrician, or whatever your area of training is within those different areas. And so it takes about 5 minutes to fill it out, but that allows us to collect data in a real fast way in an instant that might occur moving forward.
Yeah, that database is the MVP, is it not? I mean, you got everything at your hands, at your disposal. Tell me, where do churches, nonprofits, I know you're speaking at the chamber here soon, and both Rotary clubs. I mean, you're really doing the car wash circuit here in Mount Juliet, which is, it's going to be a lot more pub than this video right here, I promise you. But you're looking for really all hands on deck. And I know you said you're looking for churches, nonprofits, all that, but you're also, if somebody doesn't belong to a club, you'll take them as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the idea behind this is that you would have not just for disaster response, but for ongoing needs in your community, a centralized hub for volunteerism. So we launched our platform in May with about 14 nonprofits who were placing their volunteer opportunities on the site. And we've grown to about 27 since then. And our hope is that, yes, we're seeking to engage the Wilson County resident to be able to create their free profile and connect with volunteering in ongoing times, but also in times of disaster. But we're also looking for community groups who either want to plug in to the needs of the community or who are wanting to partner to post their volunteer opportunities as well.
The nature of this, though, when you have incidents like this, that is when people want to get off the sideline and help. You're trying to bridge that gap to go ahead and get that team assembled. Is that tough? Is that difficult? Because it's nothing right now as opposed to maybe March of 2020.
Absolutely. Tina Doniger from Community Resource Center who was leading the meeting that we were just at for the VOAD, and she said it best. It's hardest to get people in disaster skies. There's no a huge event that has occurred. So it kept people engaged with chopping down trees or just engaged with the ongoing sign up preparation for that. Our heart, though, too, like I said, Wilson County is growing at such an exorbitant rate. We centralize for all those needs to land, like the ongoing ones as well. Then we're setting up new residents for success to plug into needs, and we're also setting ourselves up to be able to maintain our quality of life here within the community.
That's very important. That's very important for sure. Regina Girton, Executive Director of Volunteer Network, joins us. How can we get a hold of you? I know we have it on our screen, but do you get a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts, just people hearing about you word of mouth and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. People can email me as well, regina@volunteernetworktn.org.
Okay.
You can also go on the website and peruse around.
Okay.
You can create your free profile without ever having to email me. And we have ongoing opportunities that are already there on the platform.
Okay.
And we're adding, new organizations daily.
Awesome. Well, I told you before we started the broadcast, our city manager, obviously Captain Tyler Chandler, singing your praises at City Hall, which means you're making a huge difference. You're helping out many departments where we might not have those hands. So from the city of Mount Juliet, our board of commissioners, everybody, we really want to thank you and your heart and your team and what everybody is able to do. So I wish you didn't have to have this job and have this purpose. I wish there were always blue skies, but we know that we live in. So again, thank you. Everybody at Volunteer Network TN. She'll be at a couple of Rotary clubs, also the Chamber of Commerce at their luncheon too. So making the car wash circuit, she's very important. Glad to have you and your time today. Tell everybody we'll see you later.
See you later. Thanks, guys.